slow start? Was that just coming off the 4 games off?
Yeah, I mean, getting back in the rhythm. When you sit out, things happen, and you gotta catch the train while it's going. So it's what you gotta. I think what you gotta do in those situations is play for your teammates and try to fit in.
Late in the fourth quarter, when it's you and Castle picking the ball up and you hand that ball off to him, are you thinking he's gonna pull it up from that far deep, or?
I don't know. Today he was on. I don't know. He had something going on. I could feel it. I mean, I think everybody could feel it. He was super locked in. So I mean, and I have a blind trust in him. As I've said many times, he's playing like he's much more experienced than he is. I don't know where that comes from, but it's a good thing that we can trust him like that blindly, in the fourth quarters.
Barnes told us that that's a good shot for Wemby. Then he figured it was a good shot for Stephon too.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, we trust him. I mean, it's knowing where we want to go and where we want Steph to be. How important we want him to be in the future. It's for me, it's a necessity that he takes these kind of shots, because we want eventually him to be a menace from everywhere. So we gotta trust him.
Can you ever imagine having a night where you just tell yourself, it's not my night, I need to stop shooting? Or does that not enter your head?
That's happened before. No, stop shooting, never. But it's but I wouldn't see it like that. I would see it more like, okay, that's his night, let's go to him. To any of my teammates, it could be their night. So I would see it more like that. Trying to really, extensively go to somebody because they're hot and they feel it tonight. So that's more like it.
Tonight you were just going to keep shooting, and you were going to find it at some point. Right?
Yeah, I mean, any night I'll just keep shooting. Yeah.
Can you explain how did you manage to flip that switch in the fourth quarter? Like, isn't that like a mental thing? Physically, you were like finding your rhythm. Like, how do you?
I did find my rhythm physically, because it was a little hard to come back in terms of conditioning in the first half, but second half I was feeling really good. So yeah, it's also answering, being there when my team needs me, but also not doing too much, and this is a balance. It's a balance thing you gotta learn as an NBA player, because there's a lot of games, lots of tight games. So yeah, it's something. Is a switch I'm trying to flip on demand,
Speaking of that big balance, when the fourth quarter comes around, does that balance tend to shift more toward, okay, my time, this is where I'm going, to be a little bit more assertive, or I'm going to look for better shots, or, whatever?
This is for sure. Of course, during the game we're trying to have that attitude too, but it's all during the game. It's also time to try to use a broad variety of weapons. But surprisingly, in the fourth quarter, this is when we have to come back to more simple things, strong catches, quick moves, because it's we gotta go back to our basics, and this is what every team does, and this is what they try to do too, our opponents tonight. But so yeah, I'd say surprisingly it's more simple things we gotta do in the fourth.
Mitch was saying, for you personally, like, you thought your fundamentals, your basics were really strong in the fourth quarter. What does that mean to you? For you personally, what are the fundamentals and basics that
that's strong catches, quick moves, not holding the ball, but also taking my time, and taking shots with confidence, and taking shots being, calm, with good feet and good preparation to the shot.
Part of that led to the 9 assists. How much satisfaction do you get out of finding your teammates, setting him up for baskets?
For me, I get a lot of satisfaction because it's something. It's a step in my career I'm currently in, you know, because it's before coming in the league, I never really had 10 assists more, you know, and rarely had 7+. So it's in my development, this is a step I'm willing to take because, you know, I'm trying to force teams to guard me with more than one player. So mathematically, it means one of my guys is open, and and for me, I think this is the best way to win games involving everybody.
Victor, what does the locker room feel like different from last year? How does it feel different? Can you capture the spirit of what's going on? How are you feeling in there?
I feel like we got some more experienced brains in there, so it's a little bit easier at times to, you know, I think they find the right words, you know, to first of all to motivate us, but that's always been a thing, you know. We always had energizers in the locker room, but they find those, you know, Chris and Harrison, they really find the right words and emphasize the right things, which is a big help because it's the quickest way to learn, and the will to not make the same mistakes twice has been there all along. But it's sometimes the will to not make the mistakes is not enough, and last year we lacked a little bit of that experience. So this is how the locker room feels right now.
Do you feel more connected as a team this year?
No, we've always been really close together.
During the course of the game, Vic, was there minutes restriction? Did it come up? And I asked because you ended up with 35 minutes tonight, so just wondering if,
That's
nearly 35 minutes.
That's over my minutes restriction indeed. But I'm not gonna complain. I like it. Yeah.
To win a third straight and be above 500 for the first time this season, is there a different sense of hope going forward, or is this a place you guys always knew that you could be?
Hope is always there, you know. It's and I'm not sure it's the right word. And Chris Paul often says something really interesting. He says, we celebrate those wins. We're really happy about every single one of them, but we should expect to win. There's no game we should come into not expecting to win. So it's nobody's surprised by it. Everybody's confident, and let's say we're kind of where we want to be, above 500, and now we have the opportunity to fight for a spot in a stacked conference. So we're on the right track. I think we're going up right now.
Just to clarify on the banging knees with AD, was that something that just became a bruise that hung around for a while? And you're over it now? You think it's
yeah. So it was a bigger hit than I thought, bigger bruise. But it's luckily it's of course nothing's broken. It's just kind of when you get hit,
Je viens d'en parler un peu, mais Stephon l'a répété, le fait que l'objectif des joueurs, c'est d'aller en play-off cette année. Sur ce que tu vois justement, c'est un peu encore tôt dans la saison, mais est-ce que vous montrez les équipes que vous pouvez battre, les progressions que vous avez, est-ce que ça te semble définitivement accessible et réaliste, les play-off aujourd'hui?
Bien sûr. Surtout que en voyant notre développement, en suivant déjà depuis plusieurs mois ce qui se passe dans le vestiaire, ce qui se passe avec les coachs, on voit qu'il y a bien sûr cette volonté de progresser, mais aussi des résultats statistiques, en stats assez avancés par rapport au reste de la ligue. Donc il y a une progression qui est factuelle, même si ça s'est pas tout de suite vu sur les victoires. On est à peine au-dessus de 50% de victoires, mais il y a une progression qui est statistique.
Ouais, Victor, avec la victoire contre Casey lundi, là, cette victoire contre les Warriors, est-ce que tu as l'impression que vous envoyez un message à la Ligue? On va attendre 2 premiers de la conférence Ouest.
Franchement, c'est pas du tout quelque chose. J'avais pas pensé à ça comme ça, mais on est vraiment concentré sur nous-mêmes, quoi. Mais on sait que bien sûr, avec plus il y aura de victoires, plus on sera pris au sérieux. Mais pour moi, ça fait partie du développement d'équipe normal. J'espère bien qu'on sera pris au sérieux un jour. Ouais.
Victor, Steph Curry a révolutionné la manière de jouer cette ligue. Est-ce que c'est un joueur que tu regardes beaucoup, donc tu t'inspires? Et si oui, de quels aspects de son jeu tu t'inspires le plus?
Bien sûr, c'est un joueur très inspirant. Et moi, bien sûr, en grandissant, tout son jeu, la manière dont il se déplace sur le terrain, c'était incroyable. Mais récemment, ce qui me marque, c'est surtout son envie de gagner qui est un peu immortelle, quoi. Il joue pas juste pour jouer, il est compétitif, il est tout en haut de la conférence. Et voilà, on a l'impression qu'il veut encore chercher, qu'il cherche encore à aller prendre des bagues. Et puis même en 2022, je veux dire, j'ai vu les finales en direct. Voilà, on voit qu'il a faim.
J'ai demandé à Chris Paul un petit peu s'il t'aidait avec les passes et pour mieux lire le jeu. Il disait qu'il t'a donné un conseil d'écouter la défense. Est-ce que tu peux nous partager certains conseils qu'il t'a donnés, nous expliquer un peu comment il t'aide au quotidien pour progresser au niveau des passes?
Ouais. C'est vrai que avec l'expérience déjà de la France et puis de la saison passée en NBA, j'avais progressé sur la manière de lire les défenses, mais certaines choses ont changé chez les adversaires cette année et il m'a beaucoup aidé pour apprendre à lire ces nouvelles défenses. Plutôt que de prendre une demi-saison à s'adapter, on a déjà commencé, comme je disais avant. Statistiquement, on a déjà beaucoup progressé. Et les coachs font un super travail aussi de me montrer des clips et pour voir vraiment concrètement comment on peut régler les choses. Et souvent, sur la plupart des pick and roll, c'est Chris et moi, donc on fait vraiment des séances vidéo ensemble où on peut partager ces choses-là, mais franchement, ça n'a pas de prix de travailler avec lui. Merci.